right. Hello, everyone. Oh, you know what? Let me get this so I can monitor my audio quick. I'm going to switch back to the preview screen for just a moment. All right, let's try that again. Strange. Well, I hope you can hear me all right. I can't hear it through my monitors at the moment. But if you want to, in the chat, just let me know if you can hear me speaking to you. We'll get started with the show in just a minute. Interesting. All right, I got the thumbs up, so I'm just going to take the headphones off because I can't monitor the audio anyhow. So, hello everyone. It's evening for us here at Kopernik Observatory, but maybe a different time where you are. So tonight we actually have two streams planned for you, and this is in part because we missed the Friday night live stream at Kopernik last Friday. We couldn't stream the content due to copyright restrictions, but we figured we'd follow up with a dual stream covering the NASA's DART mission, the Impactor spacecraft that's going to hit asteroid Dimorphos in just about an hour or so. And we're going to watch the live footage. It's really kind of like 1 frame per second updates or so as the spacecraft approaches the asteroid for impact. So we'll watch that, and we're going to get to that footage in just a moment. I have it loaded up here already. I do briefly want to show you our website here. I also want to bring up the chat on my phone so that I can monitor any questions that come up too. And let's see here. Bring this up. There we are. So yes, NASA's DART mission impacts Dimorphos, and we're calling this a pioneer in planetary defense. And we'll talk more about what that means as we watch the footage. You see in the large window there that we have our website, Kopernik.org. There is a link for our website in the video's description if you want to see more, as well as our social media links if you want to follow us on those platforms. If you're not subscribed to our channel, definitely hit the like button and the subscribe button if you're enjoying today's content. So these are the two programs we have tonight. DART and the Jupiter Close Approach. Kind of neat that they fall on the same day. So we'll get into more of this later on at around 8 o'clock. I'm hoping to start streaming live views of the planet Jupiter as it is at opposition. It is the closest approach since 1963. So it'll be a little bit brighter in the sky and a little smidge bigger in telescopes. Jupiter's already a really big object, so it's really somewhat hard to discern those differences, but we'll get into that later when we go out and look through the 6-inch online. All right, so by the way, this is sort of a new branding for us. The DART mission is called KRXN. In each of our videos, we try to include some sort of branding so you can identify, okay, this is more of a reaction stream on some major event, in this case the DART impact, whereas then you have NSLs or Night Sky Live. And those are represented by this orange branding here. KRXN is blue branding, and I don't think I have it on the website, but on our YouTube channel, yep, that's showing okay. We do have our FNLs, which are our Friday night live streams. So 3 live streams we have going now. KRXN, NSL, and FNL. So we like our, at least the NSL and FNL, those are sort of acronyms. If you're a chemistry major, or you study chemistry, or you're a chemist, of course, the RXN is the shorthand for reaction. So this stream is a Kopernik reaction stream. All right, well, we'll react together to the DART mission. This is the YouTube channel, though. We have loads of content to explore here, and a lot coming up, too. You'll see we have a full slate of upcoming fall live streams, and we may even add some as time goes by if we find we have some clear skies like we're supposed to have tonight, which is why I was happy to add the Jupiter live stream. But we have Astrofest coming up this weekend, which we will stream all of our presentations to the YouTube channel. We have an awesome James Webb Space Telescope presentation coming up during Astrofest, so make sure you tune in for that. Lots of variety there, and our schedule is posted on our website for Astrofest. You can, of course, attend that program in person. All of our FNLs are also in-person programs, so definitely venture out to see those. All right, let's take a quick look at what DART is doing at the moment, where it's at. And let's see, that's this one. This is the raw data that's coming from the instruments on board DART. So let's expand that up a little bit. There we go. And you'll see, as of right now, the data that's coming through, the asteroid appears as just this little dot. So nothing too impressive yet, but as it gets closer, of course, the detail is going to improve. And then at one point, the camera won't be transmitting anything because DART will hit asteroid Dimorphos. So that's going to be pretty exciting to watch. So this is this is sort of a dual asteroid or a binary asteroid. There's 2 asteroids around each other. Dimorphos is the smaller one. And I'll actually show you these asteroids in just a moment virtually. But let me, while we're watching this in the big window, let me venture to the live chat to see if I'm missing anything or just want to say hello to everyone. Lots of good jokes in the chat. I appreciate that. Now, Ed, that is an excellent one. I like the, did you hear what NASA said about the asteroid? No comet. That's a good one. Well, it looks like we're having some fun conversations in the chat, which I love to see. The original plan, by the way, for the live streams this week, of course, we're going to have our FNLs, but really it's going to be replaced by Astrofest for this week. So we'll have a live stream on Friday and a live stream on Saturday for Astrofest, day 1 and day 2. So we're going to have those still. But we were also hoping to have 2 NASA streams. This one, the DART mission, and Artemis as well. But as you may have heard, Artemis got postponed again due to the hurricane down in Florida. And I believe they're even rolling back Artemis at this point. So there's going to be some delay. I haven't seen reports yet as to whether they still think they can hit that October 2nd launch date. Because they're going to have to go through that rollback procedure. So we'll stay tuned for that. Maybe one of you have seen that already in the chat. I just haven't had time to go through and look for that. But that's the state of things with Artemis. It's really too bad it's taking some time for that rocket to get up there. Their fueling test procedure was considered a success, though. That happened, I believe, on the 21st. So, in theory, you know, when they get it back out to the pad, they'll definitely have to go through some testing. But we'll see where they go. I believe if they don't hit that October 2nd date, they're going to have to wait a while because they're going to be focused on launching SpaceX Dragon, Crew Dragon 5. So they're going to get a new slate of astronauts up to the ISS first before they get back to Artemis. All right. So this is our view from DART as of right now. But let's go and venture. Let's see exactly where DART is in the solar system now, where this asteroid is in the solar system. And there's a really great tool that you can use at home for this. It's a NASA resource. So I'm going to minimize this for now. I think NASA is also having their own stream over here, which we might... Oh, yeah, they have a timeline of events up top. So Dimorphos detected, target lock, precision lock, final comm opportunity, stop maneuvers, and then finally an impact. So we might jump into this live stream here as well. Looks like this is coming from the Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Laboratory. So yeah, we'll jump between these two videos to see the latest updates of from Dimorphos and the DART mission. All right, but let's show you the resource that you can use too to track DART virtually. Might be kind of cool to have something loaded up on your computer as you watch. So go to NASA Eyes or eyes.nasa.gov. All right, eyes.nasa.gov. In fact, I think I'm going to, let's see what I want to do. Let's get rid of this. I'm going to open up a new chat window here so I can follow the chat and I can add any links I need to in as well. Bear with me for just a moment. That way I don't have to monitor it exclusively on my phone, and I can also type things into the chat. And I'll bring this back up while I do this. All right. Hope the quality of the stream is behaving tonight. And if you are enjoying the content, definitely hit the like button because that shows if you're interested in programs like this. If you want to see more KRXNs, Kopernik reaction streams, that's the best way to tell us. We monitor our analytics pretty closely, so that's a good way to inform us if you're enjoying this stream. All right, so let me copy and paste this into the chat. All right, so the basic idea behind NASA Eyes on the Solar System, or just Eyes On, there's a variety. There's Eyes on the Solar System, which is what we're going to use. There's Eyes on Asteroids, which also that would probably function well for this. We'll try both of these. Eyes on the Earth, monitoring the vital signs of our planet. Eyes on Exoplanets, Solar System interactive. You can see it just keeps going. And these are all interactive experiences. So let's try Eyes on the Solar System first. We'll get a nice overview. of our solar system. And you can see I can pan around sort of in orbit. Right now I'm kind of centered in on the sun, so I'm panning around the sun, looking at the solar system. I can also zoom out, zoom way, way out. And you can keep going. I actually wasn't 100% sure of that in the solar system interactive at first, but no, yep, you can keep going to visit outside the Milky Way. So now you're looking exactly where the sun is in our galaxy here. But let's go back in. All right. Now what's cool is that there are, they'll show you some of the missions that NASA has sent out. And in this case, since we're beyond the orbit of Pluto here, we're seeing all of the spacecraft that are shooting out into different directions into almost into interstellar space. So you have the Voyager spacecraft, you have New Horizons, Pioneer spacecraft. New Horizons is the most recent of the bunch, and you can see it's made quite a trek through the solar system and beyond. In fact, New Horizons, if I recall, is moving significantly faster than the Voyager spacecraft, so it will eventually catch up and go beyond, even though those spacecraft have been traveling for decades longer. New Horizons is just was booking it through this inner solar system and then to Pluto, and now in the outer solar system. So it's just going to keep on going, which is pretty neat to see. So it'll catch up eventually. So here's the outer solar system, and we'll zoom into the inner because that's really the focus for today. And again, you'll see some highlighted missions, OSIRIS-REx, which is also going to an asteroid. You have Lucy here, you have Stereo, you have Parker Solar Probe, and look at that really cool elliptical orbit for Parker Solar Probe. And how close it gets to the sun. So here's the purple orbit is Mercury. And then you have Parker Solar Probe in a very elliptical orbit, getting super close and getting some really good data. But let's see if we can find the DART mission. So there's a search button up here. There's also you have a menu which lets you access different spacecraft. You can view all 125 here. Dwarf planets and asteroids. There's Dimorphos, comets, planets and moons. And then you click on these on the bottom to access everything. So why don't we just click on Dimorphos, because DART isn't over here, but I'm sure we could find it in the list. Let's click Dimorphos. And it's going to load in a model of the asteroid. So this is Dimorphos. And this is the larger asteroid, Dimorphos. Dimorphos almost looks like an egg. So this smaller one is the object that DART is going to fly into. And you're starting to see kind of why this mission isn't, hyper dangerous to us here on Earth. For example, we're not going to be smashing into this Dimorphos asteroid hard enough for it to reach escape velocity or anything. Not even close. It's going to stay in the orbit of its parent asteroid, its larger asteroid here, Dimorphos. So if we zoom out, let's get a picture of, there's showing you the orbit around Dimorphos. Let's look at where this asteroid is in the solar system. Okay, so there's Earth. And if we look at the plane of Earth's orbit, you can kind of see, at least as of right now, Didymus and Dimorphos kind of are a little bit higher above. So they're no real threat to the Earth, but they are pretty close by, which is good. That will allow us to get some, that allowed the spacecraft to get there within a reasonable amount of time, and it makes it so this is somewhat of a visible event from larger telescopes here on Earth. There are some telescopes in Africa. There's an observatory there that's going to monitor this event and possibly see the impact. When DART impacts Dimorphos, it's going to brighten up significantly to a point that a telescope can measure that. Now, you're not going to be seeing much detail at all. It'll be points of light, but you're not only tracking this live from DART itself, but you'll be tracking it live from telescopes on Earth. So maybe we'll see if we can find that stream in a bit. All right. So we haven't found DART yet, though. So let's go search where DART is right now. Ah, here we are. So here's DART. Pretty simple spacecraft, a little cube with some solar panels on it. And I believe this functions on a ion engine. So it's using basically electric propulsion to move through the solar system. A little bit of a slower process, but pretty practical. Dawn, that visited the Vesta and Ceres in the asteroid belt, used a similar propulsion system. So here is DART, and there is Didymus. If we zoom out here, we'll see if we can get a picture on how close DART is. This is moving real time, and it is based on the current time. All right, so there they are. Getting really close. I mean, the more you zoom out, the closer they're going to look. They really are, in terms of the size of the solar system, right on top of each other, in terms of that scale. So let's see, I think it's going to play out a animation of the impact. Cannot exceed event. So it's not going to fully impact, but it gives you a sense of scale too, of why, you may think, wait, are asteroids still pretty big? Well, sure they are. They are large, but if we wanted to get a spec on this, let's see, will it tell us? So, Dimorphos is about 520 feet in diameter, or 160 meters. So 520 feet across. I mean, that's pretty sizable, but it's relatively small compared to a moon or a planet. That's why we call them asteroids. If we compare it to its parent asteroid here, Didymus, this one is... doesn't tell us. Ah, here we go. We can compare asteroid to asteroid Bennu, I suppose is what it's going to default to us for us here. You can cycle through them. But anyways, Didymus is 1,280 feet, and that's its radius. So its diameter is about 2,560 feet, I guess. So let's go back here, see if we can get back to just Didymus there. So much larger, Dimorphos versus Didymus, and then again we'll go here so we can see the spacecraft nearby. So this is why we're going to be able to see and measure a change in this asteroid's orbit, and that's ultimately what we want to see. because DART truly is a pioneer in planetary defense. This is not an asteroid or a set of asteroids that are at risk of hitting Earth, but if we were to discover one, which Earth's telescopes and NASA is also going to send a near-Earth object monitoring telescope into space pretty soon here as well. Those tools allow us to track asteroids, comets that have potential to hit the Earth. We call those near-Earth objects, or NEOs. So while this is a near-Earth object, it's not one at risk of hitting Earth. Thankfully, we haven't found one that has a over a 50% chance of hitting the Earth at some time in the next 100 years. We're doing okay so far on that front, but of course we don't know where all of them are. We haven't found all of them, and that's where our better tools will assist us in that effort. So truly just a test mission to see, okay, is this a possibility if we get ahead of the Earth impact in time? Will we be able to change the trajectory just enough that we can save the Earth from a catastrophic impact? All right. I'm just catching one comment in the chat from Montabale. That says, that's one powerful scope you have there, Jeremy. Yeah, it does. It's pretty impressive, right? We will be using one of our real telescopes, not our virtual scopes, our NASA eyes in this case. For Jupiter stream tonight, we'll be using our 6-inch refractor for that event, for the close approach. So stay tuned for that at 8 o'clock. We'll have a little bit of a break. As you can see, this impact is going to occur at 7:14 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And we'll have, half hour or so, 45 minutes to a half an hour of a break in between this stream and the Jupiter stream. So you can come back a little later for that one. All right, so let's jump into their live stream again, their raw data coming back. And you can see that our little point of light is getting bigger. Ooh, and if you look carefully, because of course, the big point of light is Dimorphos. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I haven't heard an official NASA person say it yet, so I'm just guessing. Well, we do what we can. Pretty confident about Dimorphos, but anyways, yeah. If you look carefully, you'll see the big point of light. That's Dimorphos, and then next to it, there's that little other speck of light that's going to start to grow as we get closer, and that is Dimorphos. That is the target asteroid. Dimorphos is the parent asteroid of Dimorphos. All right. So we'll leave this up in the big window for now, and I'll take some questions or comments in the chat to see what the conversation is like tonight. In fact, I'll bring it back up on this screen. Let's see, make this a little smaller. There we go. And refresh the page. So Randy asks what scope is being used to watch this event. So, of course, Kopernik doesn't have capacity. One, I don't think it's visible for us, and two, our telescopes might just, especially the 20-inch, may just be able to see it. But if anything, it's going to have to be over. It would have to be over long exposures to try and capture these points, tiny little dim points of light in the sky. So we're just doing, this is what we're calling our Kopernik reactions, which is going to be an opportunity, a platform to have some viewers ask questions about the event, and a way to you know, in the realm of classical reaction live streams and video content, that's sort of the goal we're aiming for, is just to have this platform to be like the oohs and ahs of space exploration, right? So that's the goal for tonight. I wish it was something we could monitor with our scopes, but not visible in our case. We will have a telescope stream at Kopernik tonight with our Jupiter Close Approach event at 8 o'clock this evening. So tune in for that, where we will be streaming directly from our telescopes. In this case, we're just picking up the NASA live stream, which honestly is a little bit fuzzy. Let's see if I can. Oh, I guess it is just streaming at 720. I mean, that's fine, but I'm just realizing some of the text is a little fuzzy up here. So yeah, that's what we're going to monitor. Now let's see if we can narrow down. Maybe they tell us in the description. Let's see if they are narrowing down what these views are showing us. What time is this coming in at? Let's see what this stream is. That's the one we had loaded up over here. That's the same one. Yeah, that's the same one. So this is showing DART's deployment that we're watching here. It does have a telescopic camera, and that's what we're looking through on this one. I think that's the Draco cam. So Draco is the Didymus Reconnaissance and Asteroid Camera for Optical Navigation, aka Draco. It says it serves as the spacecraft's eye and will guide DART to its final destination. So it's monitoring the asteroids, the twin asteroids, Dimorphos and Didymus. So this is not only just for the images coming down for us, it's serving a navigational purpose to actually target the asteroid. All right, jumping into the chat again. Can you get some real pics and videos of one of these days? If there are somewhere, can I find them? Oh, I mean, I guess right now it's not terribly impressive yet. It'll get better as it continues to approach the asteroid. But this is real data, real images from the cameras on board the spacecraft. So that's what we're tuning into right now. Let's see. There is. Now, I don't know if we're going to see this view or not. I didn't see it mentioned in their description. But this spacecraft does come with a piggybacking satellite, a CubeSat. And I believe it deployed a few days ago. Maybe a week ago. But anyways, it's a CubeSat that detached from DART, the primary satellite, the primary spacecraft, and it's moving off axis from the spacecraft's trajectory, DART's trajectory, because its goal is not to impact Dimorphos. It's going to watch DART impact the asteroid. So we might get some image data from that, and that's from a CubeSat developed by the Italian Space Agency. CubeSats are pretty neat. You can fit quite a lot of instrumentation into a small space, which is fantastic for science-driven missions. I mean, Artemis is going to have a slew of CubeSats that it's going to deploy. Artemis 1, a bunch of them that it will deploy as it orbits the moon. One of them even to detect, they call it Ice Cube. Ice Cube's going to detect concentrations of water at the south pole of the moon where the astronauts will eventually land. So yeah, that'll be pretty neat to see. But yeah, this is another example of that. It's called the Light Italian CubeSat for imaging of asteroids, or LISA, I think is how you pronounce that, LISA Cube. Oh yeah, Linda. Yes, LISA Cube is the name of it. All right. Let's see. What do we have in the chat? M. O'Rourke, I think it is, asks, how soon will we have confirmation of an orbital change? That's a great question. I think we'll have some idea after watching the two asteroids orbit for a bit. How did Dimorphos's orbit change with respect to Didymus? And how did Didymos's orbit change with respect to the sun? And even more importantly, the Earth. So that's what they're going to be watching for as they watch those objects back from Earth, and they'll even get some preliminary data from that LISA CubeSat. And then a few years from now, in 2027, ESA's spacecraft Hera will visit the two asteroids and venture up close to them and get far better data than you could from Earth. It'll do a good study on the results, maybe get some really clear pictures of the impact zone on Dimorphos, and of course monitor the orbital periods of both asteroids. So that's where we'll really collect some good data. This is a collaborative mission between NASA and ESA. NASA's handling the impactor. ESA is handling the Hera satellite that's going to visit in a few years. Great question. Yeah, Didymus certainly. You're able to start to see some shape there now on the asteroid. Dimorphos is still just a speck at the moment. Poor little satellite is just out there doing its job right now. And it's going to be obliterated in the next half hour or so. Is the audio misbehaving here? I'm getting a report that it might not be super loud. Let me bump it up a little bit. Let's try that. Let's see if that sounds better. I did bump the volume up on my end, so I might sound a little excessively loud to some of you that may have your speakers cranked up. So keep that in mind. I apologize if there's been an audio issue. Unfortunately, my headset is not working. And I'm not sure why that is. I'll have to get it fixed for the Jupiter stream so that I can hear exactly what you're hearing and correct from there. But yeah, let me know if that improved anything. Sound is better. I've got a report that the sound is better. That sounds good to me. We got a question from Tate asking, it will continue to stay in orbit around the bigger asteroid, right? Exactly. And that's in part why this one may have been selected, because there's no way we're going to get that little asteroid to reach escape velocity, to escape its parent there, Didymus. So that's why, in general, this is almost a completely safe procedure. These asteroids are going to be already are at no risk to hit the Earth and won't be at any greater risk after impact. They chose this carefully. As I mentioned before, and I actually will go and see if I can find that stream so I can link it in the chat. Let's see. Virtual Telescope Project. That's the one that's going to be monitoring this from here on Earth. The telescopes they had planned for this event are in South Africa, and as of right now, they're saying they have clouds above, so their telescopes can't currently see this event as they were hoping to, but they say they're hoping as soon as those clouds clear, they can boot that up. Fortunately, they don't have a lot of time left, but currently their stream says 10 minutes. I'll put the link in the chat in case you want to monitor that on your end. Because they might be able to start in just a little bit if their cloud's clear. So let me give that to you in the chat. Virtual telescope. All right, so I linked that video, that live stream in the chat if you want to go see what it might look like through telescopes from Earth. They say, yeah, it's a collaboration with a couple observatories in South Africa. And I guess they're waiting to see which one that will have the greatest viewpoint. We shall see. All right, jumping back in the chat. Linda says Dimorphos orbit is being changed by this event. Is there expected to be a change in Didymus? Now, just from what I know, I haven't heard official word on that yet, but I would expect they would detect some change, especially with that Hera mission, when they can analyze the two a little closer. Of course, the Didymus is substantially larger. So how detectable that change in Didymos's orbit will be, I mean, that's another story. But yeah, I think the change they're really looking for is on Dimorphos. And there is Didymus getting a little bit larger in the view. Again, yeah, that structure continues to come out. Hopefully we'll be able to make out some contrast. I mean, we might even be starting to see some detail on the surface there. This is reminding me very much of New Horizons approaching Pluto, except the views we were getting there were not live like this. That was very much a, okay, here's one image that we got so far that came down. Here's another one because the distance is far greater. This object is pretty close by. So we're getting a frame every second of data from the spacecraft. But New Horizons was out all the way at Pluto. So it took, I can't remember the light distance now. But yeah, it took minutes and minutes and minutes of time to get data back from New Horizons as it approached Pluto. So they could only do, okay, here is it from a distance. Now we're getting closer and closer, and here's the first really detailed image of Pluto is eventually what we got. Well, Randy says they see a face on Dimorphos as it comes into focus. Oh, maybe. In shape, it almost looks like a like like a Pac-Man ghost or something. That's what I'm seeing right now. Though it doesn't have the googly eyes. Maybe it's the Pac-Man ghost when you get the, I don't know what any of those are called, but the big orbs that turn them blue. That's what I'm seeing right now. Hey, Mike. Thanks for tuning in. Good to see you. See you in the chat there. Now, I wonder if we go back to, if we take a break from this for a moment and we go back to NASA Eyes, yeah, there we go. Let's go live. Maybe we should go to Eyes on Asteroids. Let's see if there's any greater details in this. Oh wow, yeah, look at that. That's pretty cool. Let's see. This is not the website to go to if you have a fear of asteroid impacts, because you'll see just how many asteroids are around us at any given time. I guess we were in the right place. This one's going to be very focused on here, let's see. The asteroids themselves, not the missions. Eyes on the Earth. Nope. Eyes on exoplanets. Yeah, eyes on the solar system is where we wanted to be. Let's get rid of this. Go back to DART. Trying to get a reading on its speed right now. I don't know if those specs are going to be available on this. We are about nearing 15 minutes out from impact. We can watch this again quick here. See, get a look at what it's like as it approaches. Boom. But without the boom, because it's not quite there. They didn't model that in. Back to live. There we go. And we'll go back to this feed. right. Yeah, we're getting close. There's gonna be a point where the detail really just starts coming in really quick because yeah, we're getting nearly right on top of it now. Let's see what's going on the NASA stream. Well, they're both NASA streams, but the take here, let's see. Oh, there's a nice animated visual of the impact. Here, we can turn the volume on a moment here.
Really what's going to give us the answer to what did DART do at the time of impact. And that will be exciting to see how that evolves over the days and weeks following that impact.
All right. After a 10-month, 470 million mile journey, DART is just minutes away from making history. A truly global effort. This mission has brought together people from around the world, united under one goal: to find a way to protect humanity from a hazardous asteroid if one were ever discovered. Now, usually NASA spacecraft are intended to operate for many years or even decades, but not DART. DART was built to be destroyed. DART is a mission of firsts, proving that a spacecraft can autonomously seek, find, and approach a target in space that's so far away we don't even know what it looks like. It also marks the first time humanity will have moved a planetary body in the universe. I said that correctly. Now, at this point, the spacecraft is controlling itself, making small maneuvers to ensure it's lined up with its target. DART is speeding through space and will cover the last 4 miles of its journey in just 1 second. Coming up, we'll hear the final updates from mission operators and witness the big moment live from space. Samson, you have the best seat in the house. How are we looking?
You're right, Tahira. Front row tickets to the biggest event in town, and things are looking good. We are T-minus 10 minutes to impact, and DART is precision locked onto Dimorphos and zooming down the home stretch. Now, we have a lot to cover in the time we have left, and I'm thrilled to have with me Lori Glaze, Director of NASA's Planetary Science Division, with me for the ride. Lori, such a pleasure to have you.
Oh my gosh, I am so excited to be here and really happy that we are here in this final 10 minutes. We are almost there.
Well, you were just in the thick of it with the team up until a few minutes ago. What is the atmosphere like in there? I can only imagine.
It's great. I mean, they're excited. Every time there's a marker that we meet a milestone, everyone is cheering and very excited. But there's also almost a sense of a calm confidence that with every milestone, everything's going, as planned. We're found and we locked on the target as planned, pretty much at the right time. They're looking at the brightness and the reflectivity of the object, and it's more or less what they expected. Everything is performing as expected, and so there's a lot of cheering and happiness, but just kind of a sense, hey, we've been planning for this a long time, and we've got it.
We've got this. We've been planning for this. We can hear applause.
All right. Wait, let's go back to this here. Oh yeah, look at that's coming along well. We'll go back to the big view. Yeah, really, that Didymus really does have an interesting structure to it that's coming in now. It's looking more and more like, oh, you know what I'm seeing now? Maybe? Just because I always mention something Star Wars on a stream, I feel like. It's almost looking like a Darth Vader helmet. Or a Stormtrooper helmet or something. But I also still see the Pac-Man ghost a little bit. Yeah, that's a really good comment there, Rethfer, about how this is a really important moment when you think about what's being done here in the NASA ESA partnership with the DART mission and then eventually Hera. It is a big moment and a next step in a way that we can protect our planet. Oh, we have 63 viewers tuning in at this point. Welcome, everyone. We're in the final stretch here. About 7 minutes before impact. So we should be seeing some more clarity from Didymus and eventually Dimorphos as well. But you're really getting a sense of how big these objects are compared to one another. Again, if I recall, Dimorphos is about 520 feet across in diameter, and Didymus is closer to about 2,500 feet across in diameter. So DART, and again, that stands for Double Asteroid Redirection Test. DART is going to impact the smaller one, Dimorphos. And as they were discussing in that video, they're going to use ground-based telescopes from Earth to monitor the orbital period of Dimorphos and see how it changed after impact. And again, they're looking to see if this is a practical way to a practical method to use in asteroid redirection if we ever need to use it as a preventative measure for a potential impact here on Earth. Ah, yeah, clarity's coming in a little better. Moment by moment, we're finally able to see Dimorphos more than a point light. Maybe just getting some contrast on the disk of the object there, but that should continue to improve. Yeah, on Didymus, we're really getting some good detail now. Good shadowing is starting to come through. Yeah, he's... Good. We have some good conversations in the chat here. Yeah, I do want to emphasize, yeah, as of right now, this is just a test. And you're right, it is a test on a very small asteroid. But the neat part about this is that if you get ahead of an asteroid quickly enough, if you're monitoring a near-Earth object's orbit and you realize, okay, there's more than a 50% chance that it's going to impact the Earth sometime in the next decade or two. Is there a way that we can redirect it? Can we get ahead of it? Can we displace its orbit just enough so that over the next decade, or whenever it's going to impact, whenever it's projected to impact, can we displace it just enough that it will just swing by harmlessly? And that's what they're aiming for with a mission like this. TE asks, so we're blowing it up. We're not blowing this asteroid up. We are kind of destroying the spacecraft, though. In fact, that's exactly what's going on with DART. The spacecraft is about to be obliterated in the next few minutes here at around 7:14. So yeah, we're getting really close now to the twin asteroid system here, the dual asteroid system. And the goal is to use the momentum of the spacecraft to displace the orbit just a little bit of Dimorphos. Again, Dimorphos being the smaller asteroid. Big Dog asks, did you see the Bill Nye show about this? That's the end is nigh, right? Yes, I did see that episode. And yes, exactly. It depends on how soon you can see this and get ahead of it to actually make one. You have to take time to actually build the mission. This is a precursor to that. They're prepared to assemble some kind of spacecraft now. They have a rough, especially after the data comes out, they'll have a rough idea of how it might have to change. Might have to re-engineer a mission, especially for a bigger object, and then go from there. Oh yeah, look at this. Some really sharp detail starting to come through on Didymus. So yeah, if you detect a near-Earth object that's going to impact in the next week, that's going to hit the Earth, yeah, you don't have much time. This method would not work for that. Yeah, we're getting pretty close. Getting around 7. Oh yeah, in the next minute or two, it will hit. This is real data, Maddie, coming from the spacecraft itself. In the time it has left, which is not long. It's going to be around for another minute, and then it gets obliterated. But this is real data beaming back to Earth from DART. Now, there is a secondary spacecraft called Leisha Sat, which is a cube satellite that might give us some imagery after impact. And we'll see what that data looks like. They don't have that showing here now, though. That'll come later. So stay tuned for that in the news. You might see that data. Oh yeah, now look how close we're getting right on top of it now. It's going to happen quick. But you're seeing the detail on Dimorphos. This little egg-shaped asteroid. Although it looks like there's something off to the lower left. Oh, look at this. Look at how much it's sharpening as we're getting so close to it. Wow. Look at that. Ooh, too close for comfort. Wow. We got one more frame? One more? Oh, yep. Let's see. And there it is. DART is no more. And the orbital period of Dimorphos and its trajectory has changed somewhat at this stage. Well, to be determined officially, but that is the theory behind this mission, is that they will have changed the orbit of Dimorphos. But that is the end of DART. Its cube satellite is still out there, Leisha, but the primary satellite is no more. And when Hera visits Dimorphos in 2027, hopefully we'll see the remnants, the impact zone of DART. So let's go over to the NASA stream and see what they're saying. That was pretty exciting. It got pretty sharp there. Now I'm sure we're going to get some additional data, maybe even some clearer imagery than what we saw here on the stream. So again, that's stuff that you'll want to pay attention to in the news over the next couple days or maybe the next week. But yeah, let's jump over to the stream here. This one.
Now we're going to see for real how effective we were. We're going to train all of those ground-based telescopes on the Didymos Dimorphos system, and we're going to make measurements that will help us determine just what its orbit looks like now relative to what it was before.
It's always good to see the celebration
Very cool.
after a successful mission.
This is when science, engineering, and a great purpose, planetary defense, come together, and it makes a magical moment like this.
Yeah,
really.
Absolutely. And you can see so many people there that have made this happen. The team of APL engineers that have really poured their souls into this mission.
Lori, any last words to mark this historic moment?
Oh. We're embarking on a new era of humankind, an era in which we potentially have the capability to protect ourselves from something like a dangerous, hazardous asteroid impact. What an amazing thing. We've never had that capability before.
Thank you so much, Lori. Those are poignant last words. Tahira, history has been made. Back to you.
Wow. I mean, what an exciting day for the DART team. And in case you're keeping score, humanity 1, asteroids 0. Now, I'm here with Nancy Chabot, DART coordination lead. Nancy, talk about a moment to catch on camera. What is going through your head right now?
I mean, I'm just thinking, wow, that was amazing, wasn't it? I mean, those images, you just got closer and closer, and sort of we've been planning for this moment. We've been talking about it for years. At APL here, we've been working on this since 2015, and I've been talking, these are the images that we're going to see, and they're going to be spectacular. And I think even then they exceeded my expectations of just zooming in like that, and it really is just such the team accomplishment, and to get to this moment over so many years. And I don't have to talk about it as coming anymore. It's happened now. We have done this.
It's happened, and it is just incredible that as humans, we have done this. We did this. And Nancy, do you have anything you'd like to say to the teams who made tonight possible?
Oh, I mean, I don't need to say anything to the teams because I know everybody like me is really proud to be part of this, right? Proud of this thing that we've been working on for years, and even before 2015, internationally, people wanted to do this. People wanted to take this first test. And then we finally did. Partners across the United States. We have actually 28 countries represented on our investigation team of scientists, telescopes on all 7 continents, everybody doing their part to make this moment happen. I know I'm really honored to be on this team, and I know other people on the team feel the same way.
As you should, Nancy. And I mean, there's a lot to celebrate here tonight. And so now that we have confirmed impact, can you let us know what's next for this mission?
Well, I mean, I think I'm still taking a moment here, because this is a big deal, and this was a really hard technology demonstration to hit a small asteroid we've never seen before and do it in such spectacular fashion. But I know other scientists on the team, like me, are already pointing at those images, being like, "Did you see that boulder? Did you see that smooth area? Did you see the shape? What does that mean?" And Lychee Cube is like flying by right about now. They're close approach, taking images, and they're storing them, and we'll get those in the next days. Telescopes here and in space are looking. They're looking at the brightening of the rock that's thrown off from that spectacular collision that we saw. And this is going to go on for weeks. And so there's still a lot of excitement to come, but nothing to take away from this moment.
Yeah, this is just the beginning. It looks like everybody is celebrating here in Mission Operations. I think I just saw Bill Nye there. And so it is a huge day for this team, but also for humanity. You know, Nancy, you mentioned earlier about some of the international collaborations. And could you give us an idea on kind of the scope of DART's mission, right? It's not just us in the United States that's focusing on this. So can you expand a little on that?
Yeah, I mean, planetary defense is really an international issue. We are all on this planet together, right? And I think it's been so great for this mission to really support and embrace that international cooperation for planetary defense, so that we can maximize what we learn. And this idea came about from international scientists talking to each other, working together, you know, in order to make this moment happen for NASA's Planetary Defense Coordination Office, building the spacecraft here at APL. But really, scientists around the world are ready to study the, what did we do to Dimorphos? But more importantly, what does that mean for potentially applying this in the future? I mean, DART really is just the start. It's just the first planetary defense test mission. It was spectacular, and it's accomplished, and we'll figure out how effective it was. That's really what we're going to learn in the next weeks to come. All right, we hit this asteroid. Now, how effective was that at deflecting it, and what would that mean for using it?
Yeah, there's still so much to unpackage here. And so we have a special guest who is wondering, you know, more of what's next for this big mission. So let's hear from her now.
Hey everyone, I'm Danny Hansen, American Paralympic rower and hydro athlete. And first, I would like to congratulate the entire DART team on crossing the finish line. So congratulations. And with that, here's my question. Now that DART has impacted, how will you know if the spacecraft has actually changed the asteroid's orbit?
All right, we'll wrap up with this.
Yeah, I mean,
This
is a double asteroid system. So all we've done here actually is change slightly how Dimorphos goes around Didymos, right? And the telescopes on the Earth have studied this for years. So we knew it used to be 11 hours and 55 minutes. What is it going to be now? And so the telescopes are going to measure that period change. And they're so good at this. They've done it for decades already to get us to that point. And they're going to work for the next weeks and make that measurement. And when we have it, we're going to be sure to share it with everybody to see how much we did deflect this asteroid with the DART collision.
Wow. Well, Nancy, I mean, it's time for you to celebrate. So congratulations on everything tonight, and go DART.
Oh, go DART. This was spectacular.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll wrap up with that there. Yeah, no nothing left of the DART mission there. Yeah, they've ended that stream because there's nothing left to stream. All right, let's see where I want to go. Let's go back here. This was the final state of DART before it crashed into Dimorphos. Let me just finish up with some of the chat here before we wrap up this stream and move on to our next one. Let's see, what did I miss? People commenting that they can't wait to see if they actually moved. Our director Drew thinks maybe it was a background star behind Dimorphos, and then Linda follows with maybe the small light was part of the asteroid's the rock sticking out into the light That's a good hypothesis as well. We'll have to see what they come back with as they maybe get the clearer data or just focus on what they receive more. Maybe Leisha Cube also has another perspective. But yeah, Linda's suggesting that we should be able to see the actual impact from Leisha Cube, which will be brilliant. Anything else? All right. Well, that's what I had in the chat there. So I did remember, I can't find it at the moment. Someone had asked how much. Oh, Rathfer had asked how many millions of dollars did we just crash into a floating rock, and I did look up the budget for this mission, and it was $313 million. Now, of course, I would argue that that is money well spent, because this could mean the difference between a catastrophic event and avoiding one. So we will continue to see missions related to this as we work to build a planetary defense network of some kind. We already have monitoring equipment for it, and that's going to improve too in the near future. But we also need to find preventative measures, and this is the start to those possibilities. All right. Well, I think we're going to work to wrap up this stream, so I have a little bit of time to, well, one, we'll give you a break, and two, I'll have some time to set up my remaining equipment for the Jupiter live stream. So that is going to happen at 8 o'clock. We are going to stream a live view of the planet Jupiter as it is at its closest approach, 300 some million miles away right now, versus when it's at its farthest distance, which is almost double. So it's really close. The Earth and Jupiter are really close, relatively. And it should be a really nice bright object in the sky. Now, Jupiter usually is as well, or it usually is normally, but we should be able to spot a little bit of brightness difference there. Nice bright planet in the sky, and we'll see what it looks like up close with our telescope, so long as the weather behaves, which as of right now, if we bounce to our website and our clear sky chart, go to the bottom of our web page, and it is in the blue as of right now. So my hope is the skies will behave for our observing tonight, and we'll see what we can see on the largest planet in the solar system. If you enjoyed to this content, this Kopernik reaction stream, or KRXN, I ask that you hit the like button if you appreciate it. That shows your support. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. We have reaction streams like this one. We have our Friday night live streams that cover a variety of STEM topics. We have Astrofest coming up this weekend. And tonight we have our NSL, or Night Sky Live, on Jupiter. If you are in a position to donate and support Kopernik, we are a nonprofit organization. There is a link in the video's description that you can click, and that'll take you to a PayPal to donate. With that said, though, I'm going to wrap up this stream. If you have a question about this one, you can bring it over there if you like. But I just want to make sure I have enough time to set up the Jupiter live stream. So thanks for watching, and maybe we'll see you at tonight's Night Sky Live. See you, everyone.